afternoon, everybody. It's your always dedicated, always tired host, Elijah Norris Holiday. I got a new do, as you can see, but still the same old me, bringing you yet again another episode of the ADOS podcast. I have two special guests with me. I got Prince Kumi from Prince Kumi Live, and I got the Guru from Prince Kumi Live right here too.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy right now. It's a trending news story that they're still trying to ban TikTok. I don't know if y'all read about that. You saw that?
Yeah.
They're trying to ban TikTok and
That's
a
a new
few other
peppermint?
apps.
What is that? TikTok.
So he might not.
What is? I thought that was a new Tic Tac. What is that?
No, TikTok is. Are you familiar
Whatever
with
these
Vine?
kids is doing, right?
I don't know what these kids doing these days, man.
Vine. So Vine is a social media,
Okay.
and you can upload short clips, and you can add different types of music, and people usually do dances or challenges.
Okay.
Yeah, it's similar to Vine. Yeah, and then it's huge. I mean, TikTok has been around for a while. Actually, a lot of people don't know that TikTok was around for a while,
Right.
and just like Snapchat has been around for a long time,
Right.
but they weren't successful at first.
Right.
And then they went through some revamping or whatever, changed some things around, and then they remarketed and boom, blew up. So TikTok blew up recently, and the government's trying to basically ban TikTok. I'm still looking into the motives to see why.
What would be the motive? Because nothing is open right now. I mean, you can't really. Social distancing is at its all-time high. So now the kids can't. What you call it? TikTok. They can't TikTok. Or TikTok.
I think that's what TikToking. I don't know. I don't think that's. I think it's called TikToking. I mean, when you on Twitter, you posting on Twitter, it's called tweeting. But TikToking, I think that's the correct term.
Right.
But I think it has something to do with security concerns.
Right.
And China, I guess, is in charge. The app was developed in China, from my understanding. And someone on the live, please correct me if I'm wrong. But the app was developed in China. China actually stores all of the data. And the U.S. is citing that there may be some issues with cybersecurity and data information, and they don't want China to have access to Americans' data and information.
Yeah, I think that Donald Trump made it so where that they had to sell it to an American company in order for us to continue to use it or something to that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
they want they want China or the app developers in China to pretty much contract or give the services to a U.S.-based company.
Right. So, and is China obliging? Or they're not
because
they're making money off of that. I'm pretty sure they're making buku off of that.
I think they initially said okay to it, but once you say yes to something, the person gonna always keep on trying to push you further. So I think at the end of the point, like we said yes to that, but we didn't say yes to all that other stuff. They want the wrap.
The government is. We want the whole building.
They want to wrap everything into it. So I think initially they were like, okay, like we can see the concern. We'll work with you. And then the U.S. was like, well, we also want you to do this, and we also want you to do this, and they're just like, okay, all right, we can't do all of that. So
yeah, you know how the government goes. If they want something, but I'm gonna tell you something. If they want something, they're gonna get it. That's the nature of the business. That's the very nature of it. So TikTok got to find out a way to smooth over the government's backsides where they can still get profitable, and they'll still be profitable. But if the government say no to it all, it's no to it all. You know, it won't be no more TikTok.
Tickety.
Or probably at least not in America, which I'm not sure if that's even like the biggest audience that they have is Americans.
No.
I'm assuming it might be, or at least one of them, but I'm sure, TikTok's all over the place, man. I see videos from folks doing it in Africa, Australia. I mean, literally you can look at every continent and there's probably huge amounts of people in those countries using TikTok. Seriously. I mean, it's huge. Yeah. And everyone think that TikTok just came out of nowhere. It's been around for a long time. Yeah, for a long time. Yeah. So it's interesting, man.
Just like Corona. Yeah. It's been around for years. On the back of the Lysol can. I'm that old. That was the first disease that's listed on the back of the Lysol can.
So with this Corona thing, man, how do you think the government has been doing with handling it?
Poor. Very, can I say this word?
No bad language.
Okay, just poor, just very poor. It's just,
Guru.
we save the bad language for the ADOS night show.
Yeah, okay.
We do that on the night show.
It was very poor, mishandled. I knew it was airborne because it jumped from Shanghai, China, wherever part of China it was.
Wuhan,
China.
Wuhan, yep.
Sound like a soup. Yeah, it was in Wuhan first. Then it got all the way to O'Hare.
Oh, here in Chicago?
Yes.
Yep, yeah. That's
So I
crazy.
said, okay, it's on now. So the very first day, I work at a restaurant. So the very first day, I'm trying to do, inventory and stuff. I'm clicking on the sanitize button, and it's just blank. I click it again, blank. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm looking on my phone. I get on my phone, like, yeah, there was a virus, such and such in O'Hare. So the next day I went to work. I literally couldn't find no sanitizer and no, just before it all broke out. It was like the very first day. Couldn't find no sanitizer, nothing. So, didn't know how to make hand sanitizer. So I Googled it. They said, go in the store. Yeah, yes, kids. I Googled it. We'll go to the store, get some alcohol, some type of essential lotion, and kind of mix it all together with some water. If not might be pure, you might have to use a little bit more than usual, but it was homemade hand sanitizer. So everybody laughing at me at my job, like, what do you got in your hand? What do you got in your hand? I said, okay, wait a week. Everybody walking around there like Aquaman in scuba gear, masks. I said,
what's the recipe for the hand sanitizer?
They asked me, do you got some more of that stuff? I said, no.
And that's what they call it, the stuff. You got some more of the stuff.
And I said, no more of the stuff.
When the pandemic first started and everything was flying off the shelves, and I was seeing how bare the shelves was, and this was back in March. It felt like it was warfare. It felt like it was game time. It was like, okay, everybody was getting to their little posses and they was like, okay, I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna hoard everything that I can, because there was like tissues stocked up to the ceiling. But as far as how I think that the government is doing with it all, man, I just want to know how it's gonna end. I mean, it's been exhausting at this point.
Yeah,
I think Melvin Carter has done a lot. He rolled out a new pilot where 150 families are gonna be able to get some type of assistance from.
What is he calling that program? I was just reading up on it. I think he's calling it the minimum payment or minimum income.
But why is it only 150 families? And because there's way more than 150 families that could use that kind of money.
Yeah, why?
Well, so it's a pilot program.
That when you say pilot, that means it's short, right?
Well, it's just the first one of its kind.
Okay.
So
because 150 families, that's gonna go by quick.
Yeah, and the issue is, so they budgeted it out, and they're using CARES funding to fund the pilot program, and I think he says in it that he's seeking the rest of the funding from the private sector, so Best Buy, Target, General Mills, the big
heavy
guys,
the heavy hitters.
Exactly, the heavy hitters. He's expecting them to come in and kind of help out once they can start showing some results or producing some outcomes. And I can say this comfortably, again, like I always say for my audience, this is my show. I get to say what I want to say. I've been highly critical of Melvin Carter in the past, but I think he's actually starting to show up now. I still question the visibility piece. I know it's coronavirus, but I mean, I've been seeing a lot of elected officials out here with their mask on, their gloves, they hazmat suit, whatever. But they still been out here in the community being visible. So
especially him being the first black mayor too.
Yeah, the first black. I just feel,
but for the record, he's doing a good job. I like the initiative that he's piloting right now. I hope it's successful, and I'm gonna do my part to help out as much as I can with it. So
he has a lot on his plate.
Yeah,
he has a lot on his plate. First time elected black official in the city. He has a lot on his plate. A lot of eyes are on him. Mm-hmm. So he has to do it strategically. Mm-hmm. I hope I said that right. Yeah, strategically. He has to do it and he got to put his ducks in a row before he makes anything happen. And I have nothing bad to say. I just think more visual would be nice, more assuring to the people to see your face. And it's nothing too much you can do right now because we all live in the unknown. But like I said, he's doing the best that he can in an odd time right now.
And I didn't see him a lot during the unrest. I didn't see him a lot. I did see.
Are we still calling it the unrest?
What would be a better term?
I mean, I've heard uprising.
I like uprising.
Unrest is cool with me. I just did a whole report about it. We'll talk about that later. I just did a whole report from Ramsey County, actually. I did a survey of 300 and some people. But I called it unrest in a survey. But I'm just asking you, you prefer uprising, unrest?
Yeah, unrest.
Okay. Unrest. Okay.
It's about the same.
To your point, sir.
Yeah, and then just seeing I didn't see him a lot there, but I definitely heard that he was doing things behind the scenes, but I didn't see him a lot. Maybe it was because the main uprising was it because it was in Minneapolis. Maybe that's why we didn't see him. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it started in Minneapolis, but
Right.
I mean, I had a video on there that went viral. Actually, I think it was viewed over 300-something thousand times and shared over like 8,000 or not,
Okay.
whatever. I really don't look at that stuff too much. I didn't even know I went viral. One of my homies was like, "Oh my god, bro, there's you in this video." And I look, I'm like, man, that many people viewed it. So that just shows. I go on Facebook, do my little posting, and I leave. I don't even reply.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I don't ever like. Okay.
But I was out there literally on the intersection of University and Snelling right before people were arriving. I mean, I was there with my bullhorn and I had my sign out there. I had my boy Cherokee with me. Shout out my boy Cherokee, Christopher, and Hands from Heaven. So I had my boy Cherokee out there with me, man, and my boy Umpa. So I was just trying to talk with people, trying to get them to not come. First off, not to come there, because once you get them there, you already know what it's going to be.
Yeah,
right. So my hope is if I can get people to at least turn away, that's at least 1 or 2 people that ain't gonna be involved in what's about to happen. I knew it was gonna go up, man.
Yeah.
And literally, sure enough, I was probably out there for about 45 minutes to an hour right before things got chaotic. And people were literally pulling up in like 4 or 5 cars deep.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
4 or 5 trucks, SUVs with like 6 people in it hanging out the window, throwing up gang signs. It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
It was.
I think the toughest was the tanks.
Yeah, the tanks.
Seeing the tanks.
The
Also
tanks.
seeing the Foot Locker go up in flames.
The tear gas, the smell of the tear gas. We was actually filming live, like acts. We didn't.
Y'all was in St. Paul or y'all was in Minneapolis?
Minneapolis. We was on Lake Street, like at the police department, like
in front of Target too.
in front of Target.
Yep, I was out there for a little bit. Yeah.
We stayed out there for about 5 hours. See, I'm the guru. I'm smart. I said, if we're gonna go, we gotta dress correct.
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed my J's, I grabbed my hoodie, I grabbed some sweats and a t-shirt under the hoodie just in case I got to cover my mouth for the tear gas.
Yep.
My co-host,
Prince Kumi was out there with the tie
he
on.
came
the
out
long
there with some
sleeves.
Stacey Adams, the gold rolly. I said, we're not going to church, brother. We not going to church. You got to put that away right now.
I
You
love
know,
it.
but so we was out there for literally 5 hours. We seen people just running in and out of Target with, 2 shopping carts. The baby in the middle of the shopping cart. You can't even see the baby. The baby just drowned in just all the stuff that mom got. Just carts. And we went viral. One lady, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I'll let you feed off of Jennifer.
Jennifer, she was trying to impede the path of people that was coming into the Target, and she paid the price for that.
Don't tell me they ran her over.
I
She
mean,
got trampled.
listen.
She stabbed a couple people.
She stabbed a couple of people.
Oh, y'all was right there when that happened.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We was in the
We
midst.
was the video that went viral. Was
That was our
video.
video.
Right.
I didn't even see the video. I heard about it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
man, listen, he was right, man. He was like, man, we should cover this. I was like, you sure? He was like, man, listen, I'm going. I was right after him. A lot of stuff that we do, he really got he's the brains behind, like, okay, what do he think is gonna? He'd be like, okay, this is where we should be at, and I'd be like, okay, and then we go there, and it does.
You got that
Yeah,
intuition.
he got the
Like, I know
intuition.
something about to happen.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
It
it's
take him
just-
too long to get dressed. He ironing and stuff. I'm in the car like, man, if you don't come on.
Hey, that's the truth. He like, man, hey, I come outside, he be like, dude, what do you got on? I'm like, man, I gotta. So I love it, man. But just all in all, like I think that like the George Floyd situation, just like on our show, we always ask the guests, like, what do we think is going to happen if they don't find adequate charges for the officers in the situation? And I haven't met anyone who hasn't promised all hell would break loose if that happens. Because this is one of those George Floyd. All the other situations like Mike Brown and all these other ones, those can be debated. But when you look at George Floyd, I haven't met anyone, not even on no side of the spectrum, who said that George Floyd was in the wrong.
When you use the word debated, though, I think a lot of people have even been debating how George Floyd died. They trying to throw out that he was on drugs and that he had an anxiety attack and, he didn't eat in the morning, so that's why he died.
Fixation. If you don't know what that word means, you was choked.
Man.
Yeah. But it's like, how can I say this? I'm just going to say it like this. When a man at 40-something years old is hollering for his mother.
Yeah, that's what did it for me, man.
That did it for me. I think I couldn't have stood. I probably got shot in the process. I couldn't have. It was only a young girl there, which is cool. That's just understandable. But if there were some grown men there and you just sat there with your phone, Me and them grown men would have had a problem because
Yeah.
you just don't sit there and watch that go on. Your human instinct should be able to kick in. And I also think the sheriffs, you know, because I used to work in Minneapolis, when the paramedics called, the sheriffs are called too. And the sheriffs was present too. It wasn't just Minneapolis police. There was some sheriffs, some brown suits there too, you know, and they didn't do their job due diligence neither. And at the end of the day, it was wrong. At the end of the day, it was just totally wrong. I don't care what the man did. And he should have got premeditated murder because he worked with him at the nightclub. If you cross my path and you kill me that's premeditated.
And I heard that they had issues in the past as well, and I hope that that's being brought up in the case.
Yes, he got pictures with his daughter, so he probably didn't like that. It's a lot of they pass cross too many times for you
to be a random, incident.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's the point where I watched this video. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, like the next day or whatever, right?
Right.
And the part that hit me was when he called out for his mom. And I didn't know this. He ended up losing his mother the same year I lost my mom. So I lost my mother almost 2 years ago.
Sorry to
in
hear
2018. She's in a better place with God. She's been in pain her whole life. But I didn't know that. Someone brought that up to my attention. They're like, well, did you know that Mr. Floyd lost his mother 2 years ago?
Wow.
When he cried out for his mom, I'm thinking she around the block or something. Right? Or, she in his phone. He could just call her and be like, Mama, they just did me bogus. What can I do? I didn't even know that his mom was dead and she passed away 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, so for a person to cry out to their mother, knowing that their mother is not going to be able to even come there to save them, he knew he was going to die.
Yeah, that's tough.
At that point, he knew he was going to die.
Someone said that that's what his mom welcoming him into heaven. And like he at that moment,
he was crossing over.
And I think, man, like that was tough. I just seen the recent footage that had just leaked out, or they just put out
the whole video.
Yeah, the whole video,
start to finish.
Yeah.
Well, they did. Well, in that video, I wonder. Like he's like, man, I really don't want to go in that car. And I wonder. My question just would be: is there any type of method that can happen if someone does say, hey, listen, I'm not resisting. It's clear I'm not resisting, but I really don't want to go in the back of that squad car. I want to know if there's some policy that can be, moving forward, because at the same time, if I'm not convicted of a crime, if you're not charging me with anything, if I'm not, because I think it seemed like a routine traffic stop, and I think that George Floyd, I heard him say, man, I don't want y'all to win. And I felt that. I don't know if you've seen that video, but he said, I don't want y'all to win, and he was just like, man, I don't want to go into that car. And then he said that in the video, he said, I just had COVID. I don't want to go back in there, like in prison. He said, I don't want to go back in there. I just beat COVID, and so it's just like.
And he cited that he had anxiety.
Yeah, so
claustrophobia.
He was saying a lot of different things, and like how I was trying to figure how did they get him on the ground, and he legitimately fell, and man, I just think that I think that there had to have been a way, because when I was looking at the video, I was looking for every opportunity for his life to be spared. I was at every intersection, like, okay, maybe right here they could have did this differently, and there was a lot of opportunities for them to be like, okay, this is inhuman. He fell down. Okay, because I think they were trying to shackle his feet.
They snatched him out the police, out the car.
Yeah,
they snatched him out of the car. And I'm gonna drop a little piece of game on here because this is, I would consider to be a somewhat educational podcast. So we do like to have free flowing conversation, but I love to interject and throw in a piece of knowledge every once in a while for my audience to take away from this.
Okay.
When we talk about procedures and standards, right, and how the police had multiple opportunities to intervene and also to say, well, how can we do this differently? Obviously, this man is having an issue. We're going in the back of this car. We're not even charging with anything right now to even bring him to the station. What can we do better?
Right.
People go to city council and they complain about that, right? Or they'll go to the county commissioners and they'll complain about that, right? Or they even might send a letter to the governor to complain about that, right?
Right.
None of those entities is the right body that you should go to. I want people to remember this name. Minnesota Post Board. Have you heard that before?
No.
I'm not surprised. Minnesota Post Board. It stands for Peace Officer Standard and Training Board. I'm going to be very direct here. It's a bunch of old white men, retired cops, veterans, retired cops, who sit on this post board and they make all the standards and training procedures for all the police agencies throughout the state of Minnesota. There's something over like 250 police agencies in the state of Minnesota.
And that's who they go to.
That's who you should go to. That's where you need to write your grievance to. The Minnesota Post Board. Look them up.
Minnesota Post Board.
Look them up, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. And they make all the rules and regulations, all the data, all the privacy issues, all the complaints with officers. They have all that information.
I'm definitely Googling them. Definitely gonna put them on Google.
Yeah, because
that's part of the problem, though.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that. So when I talk, and that's political.
Yeah.
So when I get in these conversations with people, like, oh, everything's not about politics. It is.
Right.
And I have this argument with people all the time.
That's what it boils down to.
Friends. Everything's about politics,
man. And I think what I found to be beautiful in terms of the George Floyd situation of it all is like, okay, so when we first responded to the George Floyd situation, we had to count the costs. And one of the things that and I always want to say, like, okay, so the civil rights movement was excellent. A lot of the other movements, Huey P. Newton and all these different things. But, one thing I really want them to notice, and I'm not trying to up us, but it's the student in the Guru. How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. Man.
When I had posted a picture and I said, man, when y'all talk about this, when y'all tell our grandkids about this, please tell them that we were out there in the middle of a pandemic. So I think that was the beautiful part. So when me and the Guru went out there, we didn't know. We just now kind of getting full understanding of what the COVID is and what to do if you get it or how to prevent it and these type of things. But when George Floyd situation just happened, the information on COVID was still limited. But so what I'm saying is when we went out there and put our health on the line too.
Yes.
So because when you're out there, because at the time we didn't know how COVID could spread. So when you go out there and the Guru, I said, Guru, man, like our health is on the line, right? And the Guru is like, I said, because you have to make a decision. Not only do your rights and you could die and all these other different type of things, because at one of those situations there was a Caucasian guy who came in there with a firearm, and the Bloods from Minneapolis, they were able to apprehend him and get him away from the crowd.
Right on 38th in Chicago.
Yeah, so we was right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we was right there when the Bloods took the firearm off of him, or some type of situation happened like that where they scared him off up the road. We was out there.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be well documented that we had to go out there during this time in the middle of a pandemic. Like that's something to know. And like I was asking the Guru, he's like, man, if I don't go out there, the hands of time can reverse. And like he had to think about his grandkids and stuff like that. And when he put it in that perspective, I was like, man, like it's not a question. Yeah. It's a reasonable sacrifice.
And
reasonable sacrifice. I like that.
Yeah, and I was telling him I'm not going out there from here. I'm going out there for the next generation, the generation that's only 6 years old or 7 years old that can't speak or don't fully comprehend what's going on. So it's like my grandfather told me like this: if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Yeah. So it's like, if we could stand in line for Foot Locker for some Michael Jordans, you should be able to stand out there on Lake Street and get some justice and get some peace and get some equality, and you will sleep better at nighttime. And I just feel that us as a people, we come together for wrong things, like the Foot Locker thing. I done seen Foot Locker line all the way around the corner. I had put it on my post. It's not just the African American males fight; it's the females fight too. Because I'm gonna say one more.
You can't say that, the Guru. Not to cut you off, but you can't say that because then you shaming black folks, brother.
No, I'm not shaming. I'm uplifting. I'm uplifting.
Right.
I'm uplifting. I'm not saying. Well, all I said on my post is no nail shops today. No getting your hair done today.
That's right.
We need y'all front line too, sisters. We need everybody, because everybody, all troops, all hands on deck right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Let grandma watch the babies. We need all hands on deck right now, because the hands of time will reverse in the blink of an eye, and it's already starting to tip back if you're not noticing. So we as a people, we have to just come together, and we can't make a noise with one finger, but we can make a lot of noise with a whole fist. And that's how we got to come at it. And it's like, it's right and wrong. It's not white against black. It's right versus wrong. And what are they doing is coerced attacks on unarmed black men. And I'm going to say one more quote my granddaddy used to say. They want the gravy. And I was like, Grandpa, what is you talking about gravy? They want the baby gravy. You cannot reproduce in jail or in the ground. Period. Point blank, period.
Dropping some knowledge. That's the guru right there, man. Dropping the knowledge on y'all. I see why they call you the guru.
Oh
now.
man, I just been around for 4 decades and some change.
No doubt.
See why they call him the guru.
No doubt. No doubt.
What do y'all think the future's gonna look like? Let's keep it local for St. Paul and Minneapolis.
Let's keep it local.
I want to know what I'm interested in to know is like what we're gonna do with the children and what we're gonna do with the kids in terms of the rec centers and stuff like that. Because the rec centers is a big staple. Like even though like some of us are back to work, the kids are still in the house doing hybrid learning or distant learning. And as the guru said, that's a big blow to our community too. Because and no disrespect, but like a lot of mothers and who have posted and made their frustrations apparent, a lot of them don't know how to operate the tablets to be able to even get their kids in front of the teacher. So I mean when you talk about that, we're talking about this pandemic has started back in March. You're talking about 7-8 months behind the learning curve for a lot of these kids, and it's like, man, like they're not going to be able to, are they getting the fundamentals? So I mean, I'm interested to see like what we're going to do with the rec centers, you know, in terms of getting the kids that social components that they need to grow and thrive in terms of like interaction with other kids. Because the distant learning, man, like a lot of the teachers said that the students aren't even showing up. If they got 30 students in the class, only 4 to 6 of them are showing up on a tablet. So I mean, my question, what I'm trying to understand, what the future is in St. Paul is the education and like how, because I don't think that they have a hybrid situation going forward. And then on top of it, this is cold and flu season. Yeah. So I mean, you're not going to be able to differentiate between the common cold or a flu and COVID pretty soon here. So especially being Minnesota winter, because I already see people doing the sneezes and the coughs and stuff like that. So we got one of the brutest winters in all of the country. So I mean, it's really about to get really interesting.
Yeah. And another thing, get back to activities. Like I said, I work at a couple of restaurants, and a teacher wrote through. Matter of fact, today, she said, "I'm having a problem." I said, "What is the main problem you having?" You know, she's like, "I'm giving the kids easy passwords to log in, and it's easy. Your birth date, and some kids do not know their birth date."
That's true.
So it's really rough on, I want to say, not to say our people, the people of a lower class. It's going to be rough on them. They really going to have to lace up their boots and get to it, or we're going to fall behind. And that's academically and what word am I looking for? Not academically and health, because I noticed they opened the golf courses up first. When we went on lockdown, the first thing that opened up was the golf courses.
That was the first thing open.
And I said, wait a minute. Every court we went to, no rim, no net, just a pole. No rim, no net, just a pole. But every golf course was full to the brim. So I'm like, what are they saying? Are we not allowed to get our daily activities in? Why are we confined to the house, and why are we not able to do our activities? All of us don't golf. Some of us do. Majority of us don't. So, and majority, as I was taught, ruled.
Guru.
So it's like the basketball courts. I'm not even saying basketball. Football, the batting cages was closed. Football fields
had the nets down on the tennis courts.
The nets down on the tennis courts. No football. My son played football. No fields you can go in. That they was all locked up. So I'm just thinking, what are they trying to say? Let's keep it separate. If you're gonna open up one, you gotta open up all. If ain't nothing open up, ain't nothing open up. It should be equal, level the playing field. Right. That's all I'm asking. Level the playing field. You know, because human activity is important, especially when we've been quarantined for months.
Right.
Then the first thing to open up is the golf course, and this is March. The ground still froze.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. I do got something I want to tack on to what you're talking about, Prince Kumi. So I'm working with a few people right now. They actually just got access to a old building that was used by the hospital. I believe the hospital is Abbott over in South Minneapolis. And they're in the process of right now of designing some learning pods. So I got a special opportunity for the community. I was going to wait until we get towards the end, but you brought it up, so I might as well address it now. There's space for about 50 scholars. I don't know what the exact numbers are because they have to allow the folks in the hospital to kind of get first dibs or whatever. So there'll be few spots reserved for them. But if you're watching this, please share this message with your folks who are parents and are having a difficult time navigating distance learning and this hybrid model that they have. You can come and bring your child to the school. There's COVID-19 safety precautions in place. Each of the cubicles where the young people are going to be doing their work in is going to be theirs for the entire semester. And they're completely spread out, and they'll be sanitized every day at the end of the day. There's going to be a site coordinator, which I'm also looking for applications for. I'm helping them out, hiring some people in the community. So please send me your resume to my email. I'll drop it in the link after the end of this video. I'm also looking for 3 folks who can be some academic coaches to come in and provide tutoring to the young people. The age groups are kindergarten through 8th grade. And then your kid will also receive, I believe it's 2 meals, breakfast and lunch.
I love that.
I love that.
You sound like you're doing the what the Panthers was doing.
Yes.
Like, that's powerful because like all my concerns, you got a solution for.
Hey, see, and I don't talk about it a lot
That's
because
dope.
people think I'm just out here just yapping my mouth on the podcast and going on my rants on Facebook, but we actually out here in the community
Got
doing
the solutions,
work.
right?
You have to doing the footwork.
And and I don't got to talk about it. So if
I
you
love
know,
that.
you know.
I love that.
So that's the opportunity I got for the community. Please reach out to me.
What's the age range or the grade range for that 50?
Yeah, we're going to do kindergarten through 8th grade. And they're
that.
looking to get everything up and running by October 26th.
Is there a social status that they have to have, or
Right now, it's just folks who are in need.
is it St. Paul and Minneapolis based, or just
it's all through the Twin Cities. The
Okay.
headquarters is going to be in South Minneapolis.
okay?
So
Man, you're a very
That's dope.
intelligent young man. And
Man, he's putting the work. He put the.
I
he
got
put
a
just
the
a
question for him
conduit.
now. I got a question for him now.
What's the question?
When you running for office?
yeah, that's. I'm
man.
voting.
When is you running for alderman? Because them are all alderman moves you doing right now. So my question, I'm putting you on the spot on your show. That's how we gonna reverse it around here. Yeah, it's the guru.
You got my vote.
Yeah, you definitely got my vote. Where my pen? I don't even need my pen. Give me a paper cut, and I'm gonna just use some of this. So
You got my vote.
so when are you running for office?
Man, a couple people have approached me and have asked me to run for a few different positions that are going to be up for next year. I got the businesses I'm running right now. I'm still out here doing work in the community. I'm a conduit.
What day is you? What day is you running for office?
When is you running?
Well, I'll let y'all know. Y'all be the first people I reach out to because I'm going to
Okay.
need y'all out there door knocking for me,
I'll
assuming
never
we're going to be
no
able to
shit.
get back in the
Flip-flops.
community.
Hey,
I don't care how you come, as long as you got
I'm
the
coming.
sign with you
Yeah.
and a stack of flyers.
I
But
love
I'm
it.
going to need the support from the community when I do make that transition. But
Please let us know. Please let
man,
us
for
know.
real, that's a good solution because man, like especially they got food, they got offering meals, they sanitize. You sanitizing the stations
we
for
got
the
an
kids.
on-site janitor.
On-site
Oh,
janitor.
man.
Yeah, and everything gonna be sanitized at the end of the workday. You ain't gotta worry about your kid bringing COVID home. And then we got a staggered lunch schedule, so they eating with just like a handful of people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
How do you sign up? Or is it not? Is it pilot?
email me, and I'll put you in contact with the person who's coordinating all of it. So me, I'm just a conduit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I
You the
ain't-
middleman.
I'm the middleman.
You're the middleman.
So people
you
come
gotta
to
call him first. Then he gonna call.
I'm gonna give you the direct contact though. So
Yeah.
I just want to bring you in. Okay, you interested? Here go my contact. You in.
That's
So
what's
really,
up,
it's
man.
first come, first serve right now. So there's no
Yeah.
real super structured process to apply or anything. We don't
Right.
want to create no barriers.
You're right.
That's another thing moving forward here. I'm having some conversations with folks who are city council members, county commissioners, state legislators. We're really trying to work on how we can remove some of this red tape and some of these barriers for community organizations to get funding, man. Because
Right.
the community has the solutions. They
Yeah.
don't. The community does. So give the community the funds and let them
Yeah.
do what they do, which is
I
support
love
their
it.
community.
I love that.
What you know what the problem is? The money starts up here.
And everybody want a little slice.
Then when it
But
starts,
it come from down here, though.
you smart man. It comes from down here, then it goes back to the top. But once it get back to the bottom, somehow, some way, there's none left. So what we have to do, we have to find our own funding. We have to find them private sectors.
Yeah.
You don't know what a private sector is? That's General Mills,
The Best Buy,
Best
the
Buy,
Targets,
Goodyear,
the Cargills,
yeah,
them.
all that. You
Yeah.
find the private sectors and try to get them on board. And because at this time, all advertisement and publicity is good when you're doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because we're so separated right now. So anything that's bringing people together,
Yeah.
it will help. And and it's like we at that time where we do need to come together, white, black, brown, yellow, green, and come together and get this solved, because we're very stagnant right now. If you don't know what stagnant, I always shoot that out there. If you know what stagnant means, we at a standstill, not moving, at a halt.
I love it. One more question before we wrap it up, or whatever time. But I was going to ask you, like, is there a solution for like the homeless? Like, because the Guru got a pilot
now you want to pick my brain. Now I gave too much out. One of my rules is don't come across as too intelligent. I already broke my first rule. Oh man,
it was too late, man. We seen that coming in the door, man.
Just because I know we was going to do some sock thing, but
that's a good question.
We didn't know how that would play out with the COVID. You know, with like giving away socks, because I mean, he would have said, "Don't have slow feet to help the homeless."
Yeah.
He had a program.
Yeah,
he had a sock.
I like that.
He had a.
We got
program.
something starting up. Me and him got a program starting up.
Giving away socks.
Giving away socks. Don't have cold feet to help the homeless. So that was more of a metaphor plus a punchline all wrapped into one.
That's dope.
You can use that if you like, or you can just feed off that if you like. So
how can I support that, man? It's y'all stuff. How can I?
Well, basically, we starting just collect as much brand new socks as we can.
Okay.
We're gonna bust the packs open and we're gonna repack them with a seal, so everybody can get at least 2 pair per homeless person.
Yep.
And another thing, I haven't even brung this by my co-host. We're gonna be passing out chili and soup on them cold days, and just try to keep the community up, warm, and good spirits, and let them know that there are people out here that's behind enemy lines that's going to bat for you every day of the week.
Because in Minnesota, you definitely have to have a plan to get through the winter. And I know that we, like, out of everything that we're dealing with, I don't know what the plan is, because you was asking about St. Paul, and I'm still thinking about St. Paul. I don't know that the plan is for the homeless people, because, man, with the COVID, I know a lot of people aren't going to just want a homeless person that too close in their proximity. But it got to be like how you say, you can't have cold feet to help the homeless, because we still got to be in this together, all hands on deck.
I mean, but when we talk about vulnerability, I mean, people, we already know who's been impacted the most by COVID-19. It's been people that look like us, but also people that look like us and that are homeless.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, when we talk about the most vulnerable populations of Americans to this COVID-19 disease, it's them.
Yes.
And I say disease because even after you get it, there's still going to be some long-lasting complications after you get COVID-19, heart issues with your breathing and respiratory. I mean, so even when you get over COVID-19, you still have some of those symptoms even after that, which could last years, they're saying. But I think the first step would be to come up with a proposal just like that, right? We're proposing to provide homeless folks with socks, because socks is essential, especially in Minnesota, right? You need to have socks in the wintertime.
Extremities, freeze.
Seriously, and that's the first thing to go bad. The feet, hands, nose, ears, over with.
Off.
Gone.
Yeah.
So coming up with proposals like that, the population of folks you want to serve, and then the estimated cost. And I can help you with that. I do that in my free time. Seriously, I don't mean to boast. I try to try to be as humble as I can, but I literally love to do that type of stuff. Of just, okay, we trying to serve 100,000 people or 50,000 people, 10,000. Here's the estimated cost. I'll help y'all come up with a budget for that. And then also just finding funding sources. So if there's a grant out there from the county or from the city, apply for the funding source. And if not, just go knock on these doors of these big businesses. Look, this is our plan. We understand that this community or population is underserved. We want you guys to use y'all money to help us provide support to the community. And guess what? Use that word tax write-off, tax benefit. When you throw that out there, people jump at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially at the end of December.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Everything giving away then.
And I'm just giving y'all that. You know that when you get man.
You want this Volvo? Let me just write it off.
Yep. Seriously. That's what it is. So this is our plan. This is our proposal. We need y'all to help provide funding for X, Y, and Z. They love it when y'all come with a line item budget. So just don't come with a big number. Come and say, look, it costs $10,000 for all the socks. It costs $1,000 for all the packaging. It costs another $1,000 for PPE equipment for us to go out there and make sure we masked up, and also give them some masks, because man, it breaks my heart when I'm out there riding up and down and I see the homeless people out there with no masks on, man.
Yeah.
And I know they don't got access to hand sanitizer.
No.
You know what I mean?
Because
no Lysol cans to spray down their tents or whatever, because the tents is everywhere around the city and the parks right now.
Yes.
So I mean, at least we could do is give them some PPE equipment.
Yes.
The least we could do, and nobody's talking about that. So I'm glad that y'all brought that up, man. Yes. That's something that's admirable, man. Admirable. I want to help y'all with that. Yeah. Seriously, I want to help y'all with that. So let me know.
It's like they're forgotten right now, and we got to let them know that somebody has their back too, and it's like we all one step away from that. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything. We all one step away
Yeah.
from that. So why don't you just show your human capacity and, you know, help the fellow man, and that'll go a long way. You know what I'm saying? It's like it'll just rub off. It's just a rub off every time.
And niceness is contagious, man. Giving back is contagious.
I love that.
All the time.
Contagious.
All the time.
Few last things before we wrap up, because we're approaching the hour mark, and we made y'all a promise that we're going to try to keep these below 45 minutes. But I'm happy to have both the Guru and Prince Kumi on here.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed myself. I definitely enjoyed myself.
Prince Kumi, you cut hair.
I definitely do.
That's what you do during the daytime?
100%.
And you love to do that?
Love it.
I talked to Prince Kumi before the show, and I said, hey, man, if I want to get some young people together, can you throw me a deal or something to get some people in the community some haircuts? And Prince Kumi agreed.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna do everything that we can. He gonna get the number, and I'm gonna get the team together, and we're gonna make sure that we get those boys the best haircuts, any haircut that they want, any style, any design, and we're gonna make sure that because when you got a haircut, you feel good. When you look good, you feel good, you do good. So we're gonna make sure that we're gonna make sure that we take care of the community, because no matter what it costs, the biggest thing about it is we're gonna try to, even if we decide to roll it out for free, because we actually didn't get a chance to do the back to school haircuts that we do for free. So we haven't even got a chance to do our due diligence back to the community, because at the end of the day, the Guru always wanted to say, he always reminded me, hey, listen, we are community servants first. Hey man, do not just rob the community. You know, make sure you're giving back to us. So even if we couldn't raise any money for it, we still want to be able to give back to those kids, because we missed our opportunity this year to give back to school haircuts. So we definitely be able to assist in that. With that being said, y'all, if y'all watching this, share this with your friends and your family who have kids. What are we gonna say? The age 18 and under. 18 and under. Let's do 18. Let's say 18 and under. For sure.
And if y'all want a haircut, message me. Y'all got obviously y'all watching this, so y'all know my Facebook name. Shoot me a message on Facebook. I'm gonna drop my email as well, and we're gonna get your kid a haircut. Let's do it. Let's just make it happen. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. You already know what it is, man. It's the student and the Guru. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Appreciate you, Prince Kumi. Appreciate you, the Guru. Oh yeah. It's your host, Elijah Norris Holiday, and I'll be doing a recap video sometime this weekend, just covering some of these important things I really want y'all to take away from today's podcast. Appreciate y'all. Peace and love. For sure.